A warm greetings to everyone. Agriculture Makers in Mission IBPS AFO welcomes you to this video. And in this video, we are going to see the NABARD bankable project on composite fish culture. We have already seen the intensive fish culture and the culture of shrimp, trout, catfish. And this is also one of the important topics. And come on, let's get into the video. Yes, culturing more than one type of compatible fishes is known to be composite fish culture, and the required water depth for the fish culture is 1.5 to 2 meter, and it should not be less than 1 meter. And supplementary feeding with artificial feeds enhances the production, and the seasonal ponds can also be utilized for short duration fisheries. Coming to the fish species involved in composite fish culture, depending on the compatibility, type of feeding habits, the following type of fishes of India as well as exotic varieties have been identified and recommended for the culture by the NABARD, and those includes the Indian major carps, and the very first one is Katla. It is a zooplankton feeder and it is surface feeding in nature. Coming to Rohu, it is a phytoplankton feeder and it is column feeding in nature. And Mirgal, it is detritivorous and it is a bottom feeder. These are important. There may be questions which of the following is surface feeder or column feeder or detritivorous, etc. So you have to read this. Coming to the exotic carps, they are mainly silver carp, grass carp and common carp. Silver carp is a phytoplankton feeder and it is a surface feeder in nature, whereas grass carp, it is herbivorous. It is both surface, column and marginal area feeder. And coming to the common carp, it is detritivorous or omnivorous in nature and it is a bottom feeder. These things you have to remember. Coming to the selection of ponds, this we have seen already in the intensive fish culture. The selected pond should be water retentive and there should be adequate supply of water, and the pond is not in a flood prone area. Derelict, semi-derelict or swampy ponds can also be renovated for fish culture. The renovation measures includes desilting of the existing ponds, deepening of shallow ponds and excavation of new ponds, and impoundment of marginal areas, construction or repairing of the embankments, construction of inlets and outlets and other civil structures, watchman sheds, pump sets, etc. Coming to the pond management, that is pre-stocking. In case of new ponds, the operation starts with liming and filling the pond with water. For the already existing ponds, there should be removal of weeds by mechanical, manual or chemical means, and removal of unwanted and predatory fishes and other animals. And these predatory fishes can be avoided by repeated netting and can be killed by using mahua oil cake at a rate of 2500 kg per hectare. And this is very much important and it is a previous year question too. They have been asked what is the compound used for the killing of predatory fishes, and you have to remember this. Liming is very much important because acidic ponds are less productive in nature than the alkaline ponds. So liming increases the pH and it acts as a buffer and avoids fluctuations of pH, and it increases the resistance of soil to the parasites, and then its toxic effect kills the parasites and it hastens the organic decomposition. The normal dose of lime is 200 to 250 kg per hectare, but we have to apply lime based on the soil condition, and this tabular column is very much important and I have mentioned it already in the other NABARD bankable project. We can have a look again. If the soil pH is around 4.5 to 5 means lime should be 2000 kg per hectare. If it is 5.1 to 6.5 means it is 1000 kg per hectare. For 6.6 to 7.5 it is 500 kg per hectare. For 7.6 to 8.5 it is 200 kg per hectare, and 8.6 to 9.5 there is no need for lime application, and the pond is required to fill with water from the other sources after liming in case of it is a new pond. Coming to the fertilization, both organic and inorganic manures are applied. Organic manure should be applied after a gap of 3 days from the date of liming, and cow dung should be applied at 5000 kg per hectare or any other organic manure in equivalent. Coming to inorganic fertilization, after 15 days of organic fertilizer application, you can apply the inorganic fertilizers, and nitrogen and P fertilizers should be applied based on the soil fertility. We can see the tabular column. If the soil nitrogen is high, that is 51 to 75 milligram per 100 gram of soil, you can apply 70 kg of ammonium sulfate and 30 kg of urea. And if it is medium, that is between 26 to 50 milligram per 100 gram soil, you should apply 90 kg of ammonium sulfate and 40 kg of your urea. And if it is said to be low means, that is less than 25 milligram per 100 gram soil means, you should apply 140 kg per hectare of ammonium sulfate and 60 kg per hectare of urea. Coming to the phosphorus fertilizers, if it is high, that is between 7 to 12 milligram per 100 gram soil means, you have to apply 40 kg of SSP and 15 kg of TSP. If it is medium means, that is between 4 to 6 milligram per 100 gram means 50 kg per hectare in case of SSP and 20 kg per hectare in case of TSP. If it is low, that is less than 3 milligram per 100 gram means SSP should be 70 kg per hectare, whereas your TSP should be 30 kg per hectare. In addition to this, you have to remember the levels also, because they may ask in fish culture what amount of nitrogen is said to be high or low, or they may ask what level of phosphorus is said to be high or low. So read everything. Coming to the stocking, stocking is done after 15 days of fertilizer application, and the stocking density is 3000 numbers per acre. Remember, it is acre, not hectare, and the size is 50 to 100 gram. If further lesser size is used means, there should be suitable allowance should be made for accounting the mortality. Apart from this, multiple stocking and multiple harvesting technique is also been further extended among the farmers. In this, a higher stocking density is followed. The normal stocking density is 5000 per hectare. That is, it is similar to this 3000, but it is mentioned in acre, but here it is mentioned in hectare. But in this multiple stocking and multiple harvesting, the stocking density is 7500 to 10,000 per hectare. After stocking, there should be partial thinning and harvesting starting from 3rd month of stocking until the final harvest at the end of 12 months. And this technique has several advantages, as it gets the income to farmer starting from the 3rd month onwards up to 12 months, and it also minimizes the risk of theft or poisoning. And depending on the availability of seed and market condition, the stocking may be combined with 3, 4 or 6 species combination, and the ratios are given as follows. We can see the species. If 3 species is used for composite fish culture means, the ratio should be 4:3:3. That is, for Katla, Rohu and Mirgal, it is 4:3:3. And if 4 species is followed means it is 3:3:2:2. 3:3 for Katla and Rohu. For 2:2, it is for Mrigal and common carp. In case of 6 species means it is 1.5:2:1.5:1.5:1.5:2 for Katla, Rogu, Mirgal, silver carp, grass carp and common carp respectively. And this species is mainly allocated based on the demand that in India for Katla and Rohu there is more demand. So based on that the species combination is made. Coming to the post stocking, it starts with supplementary feeding, and fish need much more food than what it is available in the natural pond. And then fishes can be fed with a mixture of rice bran and oil cake in the ratio of 4:1. This is important, you have to remember this. And due to high cost of the groundnut oil cake, they are mentioning here as GOC. Farmers have tried for cottonseed oil cake, which is comparatively cheaper, and both groundnut oil cake and cottonseed oil cake is mixed in the equal proportions and fed to the fish, and it is said to report a same growth rate. Remember, rice bran and oil cake in the ratio of 4:1. In further, in this one, it is commonly divided between GOC and cottonseed oil cake in the ratio of 1:1, and it is very much important. Remember this. And then the feed can be placed in the feeding tray or feeding bag and lowered into the pond, or it can be dispersed at the corners. After some time, the fishes will get used to this type of feeding and they can aggregate at the same place at a particular time for regular feeding, so that it reduces the feeding loss also. And the recommended feeding rate is 5 to 6% of the body weight up to 500 gram. But after this, it is reduced to 3.5% of the body weight from 500 to 1 kg. And then the feeding is supplementary in nature. Nowadays, floating pellet feed has replaced the traditional feeding or supplementary source, and it has a large number of advantages. That is, it delivers the nutrients in the assimilable form based on the satiation feeding technique, and hence wastage is reduced. But it has higher cost of investment, but it has better feed conversion ratio, which is higher compared to the normal traditional feeding. Yes, the FCR for floating pellet is 1.25:1, whereas for traditional feed it is 2:1. So the higher feed cost is compensated by this feed conversion ratio. Coming to manuring, organic manuring may be done in monthly installments at a rate of 1000 kg per hectare, but in inorganic fertilization it is done at monthly intervals alternating with the organic manure, and monthly rate of fertilization depends on the pond productivity and the growth of fishes, and it should be ensured that there should not be excess fertilization which may lead to eutrophication or algal bloom. And finally, it is the harvesting. Harvesting is done at the end of 12 months when it attains a size of 800 gram to 1.25 kg, and a proper management ensures a production of 4 to 5 tons per hectare. And harvesting may be done with partial dewatering or repeated netting, and in cases complete dewatering can also be done. Some farmers resort to partial harvesting also depending on the season and the demand. However, nowadays with multiple stocking and multiple harvesting, better feed management and average productivity is obtained from a 1 hectare pond. Yes, this multiple stocking and multiple harvesting technique has given a yield of 10 tons, which is only 4 to 5 tons in case of the normal method. And we can have a quick revision. Yes, growing compatible fishes is known as composite fish culture. And you have to read this tabular column. You can remember as CS, that is Katla for surface feeder, and RC, Rohu for column feeder, and MB, that is Mrigal for bottom feeder. Likewise, you have to remember for this exotic carps. A selection of pond is easy. We have seen many a times. And as liming is important, Mahua oil cake is used for predation at a rate of 2500 kg per hectare. Liming, we have seen the schedule. Fertilization, organic fertilizer at a rate of 5000 kg per hectare, 3 days from the date of liming, and inorganic fertilizer should be applied after 15 days of manuring. We have seen the fertilizer application schedule also. Stocking, we have seen the stocking density as 3000 numbers per acre or 5000 seeds per hectare. In multiple stocking, it is high, which is 7500 to 10,000 per hectare. And then we have seen the species ratio. It is important. And coming to supplementary feeding, rice bran and oil cake at a ratio of 4:1. And then further, the oil cake, it is between groundnut oil cake and cottonseed oil cake, it is 1:1. You have to remember this. And then the feed conversion ratio is 1.25:1 in case of pelleted feeds. For traditional feeding, it is 2:1. And then finally it is the harvesting. In normal method, it is 4 to 5 tonnes, whereas in multiple stocking and multiple harvesting, it is 10 tonnes. And with this, we are concluding, and I hope the video will be very much useful to you. And thank you for all your supports. And do subscribe our channel for the next earliest updates. And see you all again.